Page 133, industrial organic. But if you look a little closer, you'll see that something has been left behind. The organic food in stores like Whole Foods is organic because it's grown without chemical fertilizers or pesticides. Yet much of it is also industrial. Most organic vegetables in the United States are grown in large monocultural farms growing only one crop, far from the people who eat it. Most of it is processed and sold by the same industrial food chain as the corn from Greg Nealon's farm. Because this food chain has elements of both, I call it industrial organic. For example, some organic milk comes from cows on small farms, but most organic milk comes from factory farms. Those cows on these farms spend their time in a fenced lot eating organic grain, except for the 3 times a day where they are hooked up to milking machines. Likewise, organic beef is often raised in organic feedlots. The cows are fed corn just like the cows at Pokey's, but their feed is organic. The government rules about organic food allows companies to make some organic high fructose corn syrup, words I never expected to see combined. This organic HFCS could come in useful when making organic processed foods like organic soda or organic TV dinners. I found one such TV dinner that included 31 ingredients from gar and xanthan gum to natural grill flavor. Several of these ingredients are synthetic additives that are permitted under federal organic rules. Turn to page 147. More big organic. Meet Rosie, the free-range chicken. I visited Rosie, the free-range chicken, organic chicken, at her farm in Petunia. Of course, this wasn't the same Rosie as the chicken I had bought at my Whole Food market. Rosie is the brand name for the type of chicken raised by Petunia Poultry. Like Earthbound Farm, Petunia Poultry is a large industrial organic company. When I got to Petunia, I was looking for a pretty little red barn, a cornfield, and a farmhouse, like the one on Petunia's packaging. By now, you'll have guessed that I couldn't find them. Petunia turns out to be more animal factory than farm. Rosie lives in a shed with 20,000 other Rosies. Ah, you ask, what about the free range? Words on Rosie's label? Doesn't that mean they can freely range outside? Not exactly. It's true, there's a little door in each shed leading out to a narrow grassy yard. But here's the catch. The door remains firmly shut until the birds are at least 5 weeks old. By that time, they are so used to the shed that none of them go outside. And when all of them are slaughtered 2 weeks later, Rosie and all the other chickens raised at Petunia are the same breed, Cornish cross broilers. The Cornish cross is a type of chicken bred for industrial food chains. It is the fast growing chicken ever. Turn corn into meat faster than any other bird. They go from egg to full size in just 7 weeks. In fact, the bird grows so rapidly that the poor legs cannot keep up. Often by 7 weeks, Rosie can no longer walk. It's a bird's life. The folks at Petunia gave me a tour of the fully automated processing plant. The machinery there can turn the chicken from cluck to feathered bird into a shrink wrap package of parts in just 10 minutes. After the tour, the head of the marketing drove me out to the chicken house. The shed looked more like a military barracks than a barn. They are long, low buildings with a giant fans at either end. To go inside, I had to put on a white hooded suit. Since the birds receive no antibiotics, they are still genetically alike. If one gets sick, they will all get sick. An infection could kill 20,000 birds overnight. 20,000 is a lot of chickens. Inside the shed, they formed a moving white carpet that stretched nearly the length of a football field. The air was warm and humid and smelled powerfully of ammonia from their droppings. The fumes caught in my throat. Compared to the conventional chicken, I was told, these organic birds have it pretty good. They get a few more square inches of living space per bird. It was hard to see how they could be packed together much tighter, because there are no hormones or antibiotics in their feed to speed up growth. They get to live a few days longer. I stepped back outside into the fresh air, grateful to escape the humidity and smell. Running along the entire length of each shed was a grassy yard, maybe 15 feet wide. USDA rules say the organic chicken should have access to the outside doors. But as I've said, the birds never go outside, even when the doors are open. This is no accident. The last thing Petula wants is for these birds to go outside and catch a cold. Please turn to page 153 at the bottom. Is organic better for you? My industrial organic dinner certainly wasn't cheap, considering I made it from scratch. Rosie cost $15, $2.99 a pound. The vegetables, another $12, thanks to that six buck bunch of asparagus, and $7, and dessert $7, including a $3 for a 6-ounce box of blackberries. That comes to a $34 to feed a family of 3 at home, though we did have a second meal from the leftovers. That's a hefty price compared to the same meal from industrial food chain. So why buy organic anyway? Is the extra cost worth it? What exactly are you paying for? Does organic food taste better? I think the answer is probably, but not always. A fresh picked organic vegetable is bound to taste better than one that has been riding in a truck for 3 days. On the other hand, organic Rosie was a tasty bird and more flavor than the mass market birds fed on a diet of antibiotics and animal byproducts. Those unnatural fed makes chickens with mushier and blander meat. Okay, so organic food sometimes tastes better, but is it better for you? I think the answer to this is always yes, but I can't prove it scientifically. I know the dinner I prepared contained little to no pesticides. Those chemicals have been proven to cause cancer, damage nerve cells, and disrupt your endocrine system, your hormones. Those poisons are routinely found in non-organic produce and meat. Yet I can't prove that the low levels of these poisons in food are enough to make you sick. The government says that the levels are low enough that our systems can tolerate them. Very little research has been done to determine the effects of low levels of these pesticides. One problem is that the official tolerance levels are set for adults, not children. Since children are smaller and still growing, the damage for them is greater than for adults. Given that we do know about the dangers of these chemicals, it makes sense to keep them out of reach of a kid's diet. It was important to me that the organic ice cream came from cows that did not receive injections of growth hormones to boost their productivity. We don't know if these hormones are affecting kids who drink non-organic milk. But again, I think it's better to avoid them. Also, organic cows like Rosie, the organic chicken, are never fed corn that contains residues of azarines, the herbicide commonly sprayed on American cornfields. The tiniest amount of these chemicals, 0.1 part per billion, has been shown to change the sex of frogs. There's been no study to show what it does to children. So it seems to me I have two choices. I can wait for the study to be done, or I can decide that it's better to be safe than sorry and buy foods without azarine. As you may recall from Chapter 4, although the US government allows azarine spray, the chemical is already banned in Europe.